Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the live stream. I asked a question yesterday, or actually, I made a statement yesterday on my Facebook, and it was, please delete your ring lights. And somebody was like, no, most cameras automatically light adjust these days. This is Michael Whitehouse. I'm calling you out, brother. No, not because I don't agree. Yes, cameras do automatically adjust the light automatically these days. Don't be in the dark. And the reason for that is yes, it does do that. But what you're doing is you're asking the camera to do extra work, which is going to start to introduce particles, noise, and asking the camera to do a lot more work than you should be providing good lighting. I mean, if you're a professional, you want professional lighting in your space. You want people to take you seriously, you know. So having good lighting definitely helps. Yes, you can buy lights that are not so fancy, $35, whatever. But if your idea or your reason for being online is to share your message, is to teach people what you're teaching, you want to be in lighting. Now I'm going to show you the thing that my friend is talking about, the light adjusting, right? Cameras have the ability to do that, but do you really want that kind of video to be the thing that shows up in your show? So I'm gonna turn off some of these lights if I can, and of course nobody wants to cooperate with me. Come on, fill lights updating. So essentially what I've done is my second camera here that just went black on me. All right, so my second camera angle that I just turned on, you'll see that this one will change as I change the lighting. So if I turn this light off, it's adjusting and increasing the ISO count on it. If I were to turn off this hair light, it's going to try to fill in, try to add more. And I don't want the camera to do that. And the reason for that is because it introduces hot spots in areas and other spots, so it's basically trying to balance everything out. Even though this is a full frame sensor, the image quality isn't going to be. Now on this camera in front of me, I've locked in the ISO, so it's going to show you what actually the camera sees and what actually I see. Like if it's darkened, I see a little darkened, my eyes can adjust, but again, you don't want to put that to the camera. So having good lighting in your space is absolutely important. It's make sure that you show up the same way consistently on camera, and it also shows your authority. Now a lot of people says, hey, people are saying, okay, I don't really use one, but I have it, why delete? I love my adjustable diode ring light, why? Other people saying, nope. Oh my god, yes, the ring light eye reflection is so 2018, says Adam. Sync us. I like the replicant look, especially when I want to look weird, says Don Jargy. Michael Whitehouse will also say they do create weird reflections. I suppose they're only an issue if you wear glasses or have eyes. So here's why ring lights became popular. They create a really cool kind of effect, and they were really designed for photography. Now, why photography? When you're doing photography, your camera has different shutter speeds and different ways that you can leave the shutter open for a longer time, so more light is collected on the sensor. And if you probably noticed this, if you're taking a light in the evening with your smartphone, you'll notice that the camera says hold this position for a little longer, so it might take a second or 2 seconds sometimes if it's really dark, because what it's doing is letting the camera sensor capture more light so it can see more of you. And if you're moving, that's because you're supposed to stay still so it can capture all the light. And that's how sensors and that's how cameras have been used for centuries, for ages. There's a camera format called the medium format, which is a really large sensor, and they would just leave the camera there, and they would open the shutter for a longer time. Now, if you look at the camera and you have a number called 1/60, that means the shutter opens for 1/60th of a second. 1/60th of a second, so really quick, and that's basically where you want the camera shutter speed to be, or 1/50th of a second. Now, if the lower the second number becomes, the longer the shutter is staying open. So if in your dark environment and you see 1/30, and if you weren't as still as possible, you'll see some blurred motion because the camera sensor is open for a longer time, and you're capturing that image. The sensor's trying to capture additional light. So you want to make sure that you're at 1/60 on your camera, and then your ISO is another thing that we can play around. So back in the days, we would buy these film for our cameras that were ISO 800 or ISO 400. ISO 100 wasn't sold as much because it required a lot more light. It would probably do really good in the daytime. Like ISO 100 is what you want to use daytime, but most people bought ISO 800 because we are in different lighting conditions, and that's where that comes down to. Now, Lisa is here. Lisa says, I get migraines direct from sunlight. Oh, I need to update this text color. Let's change it to black. There we go. That's better. That's the background color. So she says, I get migraines from direct light and could never use a ring light. Also, they have goofy reflection in my eyes and glasses. You're 100% right. They do have a goofy reflection. Now, the ring lights have a nice rounding effect. If you have the larger ring lights that are 18 inches or 20 inches long, they were used by photographers for portrait photography, specific condition. But what we're doing here is we're creating video for long term where the camera wants to see as much light as possible. Now, Clint Riggin here. Hey, Clint. Good to see you here, man. Let me know the light to use, my friend. I'm all ears. We've got new office ready to transform this place. Perfect. So what you want to use is you want to use larger panels. Now, I don't need to wish. I can show you the lights that I use in the messy space that I have just by switching the camera over here. Hopefully, there we go. So here's the big light that I use. Now this is a massive light. It's a 27-inch light source. Where else? This top light that I have, this light is a foot by foot panel, but it's nice big light that will give you really good coverage, and that coverage is going to help you show much more sharply in the on your set. So make sure you have a large light source that you can mount either on a light stand or either on the ceiling, and that light's gonna fill you in more appropriately. That's why in my book 7 Stages of Home Studio Evolution, I mentioned make sure that you're sitting in front of a large window and add a sheet of cloth. This is going to make sure that you have plenty of light coming into you and that you're easily seen by the camera sensor. And that enables the camera to work a lot less, you show up more accurately, more authentically even, right? So, but if you have too much light, then you got to control, either put sunglasses on your camera sensor or add another layer of bed sheet or a diffusion on that window. The next step is the setup that I've got. I wanted the light to be consistent all the way throughout the day. So what I did is I started with a blank slate, literally turning off all the lights. So I'll show you what that looks like if if my lighting setup cooperates with me. So if I were to turn off all the lights, right? So all the lights are turned off. I start with a blank slate or a blank canvas. The only light that's lighting me up right now is because I have this massive monitor and it has this stuff. It has windows or things showing up. But even if I didn't have that, like if I take these things away, it'd be so much darker. So starting with that one key light that I was showing you, right? So let's see. I'm going to switch to my phone camera, and then you'll see that image is a lot darker because I don't have the things locked down in the image. So this lighting is direct only from my computer monitor, right? Only from a computer monitor, and you can see the reflection of the different windows as I move them around. You'll see the reflection on those windows. Now, because the camera on my phone is bringing all the things, collecting all the light that's possible, you'll see there's a little bit of, what do you call it? There's a little bit of, I'm missing my words. There's a little bit of things, noise and particles in the shot. But again, these cameras are really powerful, right, to do a good job. So, but if I add a light source, you'll immediately see that I am much more prominent. Now, if I go back to this camera, I have locked down the ISO on here, so it's not going to adjust. It's not going to, it's just taking in what I told it to do. And in this shot, I'm able to then, so this is the camera angle for my phone, and this is the camera shot from my camera. So again, this image is much brighter in the camera as opposed to this image because of how these things work. As I add in additional light sources, my phone camera is going to adjust a little bit, as much as it can. I mean, I still have some highlights on my nose and up here because there's more light sources, because the camera can only do so much. It can only reduce so much. So again, I'm adding these additional lights and laying out this setup in such a way that it's always going to be the same look and feel. And that's what studios do. That's what newscasters do. That's what film studios do. They make sure that all the lighting is accurate. It's all the same way. Again, it shows how professional you want to show up on camera. So having good lighting, it's super, super important. And once you have it set up, even if you spend $100, $200 on these lightings, guess what? These lights are going to be with you for ages, for years to come. Like this light panel that I have in front of me that I showed you earlier, I bought this 7 or 8 years ago, and it still does the job, right? Whatever money I spent, it's an investment in your space, an investment in your studio, it's an investment in your brand. So make sure you have the right lighting to begin with so that you don't have to worry about it ever again. And then you can, of course, add on other additional equipment in your space as you go along. So, Clint, hopefully that answered your question on what type of lighting do you need. I will share a link in the other post as well as this video or this live stream. Hey, this is the light that you want to get because it's going to give you a really good condition, a really good look, and you can go for a long time. All right, hopefully that helps. And then again, having multiple light sources. So I've got 3 light sources in here. I've got that are shining on me alone. So if I were to turn off the floodlights and the shelf light, these are the 3 light sources. I've got the hair light that lights my hair, and I'll leave the hair light on first. And then so now you've got the hair light, and I've got the shadow light, and I can, you can see the outline of me. Then I can add the key light. So now I've got 2 sources of lights, one in front of me, one behind me. So now I'm, separated from the rest of the look, and then I've got this other key fill light, which then adds more dimension, more definition on me. And again, I have these accent lights in the background to differentiate the background and differentiate it from me, and give more dimensions, give more definition to the look and feel of what I've created in the studio. So again, 5 pieces of lighting, 3 pieces of lighting, whatever it is, you want to make sure that the talent, is showing up most prominently, because this is who they're coming for, right? People are coming and watching your videos because they know who you are. They care for what you have to say, so they're coming to watch the video because they know who you are. They want to learn from you. So the better you show up, the more professionally you show up, the better it is for your brand building. Here's the cool part. Because I've had this set up for so many years, anytime I show up, people can recognize me. And not just on video, right? When people see me in person, I was at Podcast Movement for a whole week. People come up to me and like, hey, I remember you from your video. I remember you from your photos. I remember you from blah, blah, blah. And they already know you. It's like when we know people like Peter McKinnon and Casey Neistat, because they've created so much content on video. They got the proper lighting. They've got the right gear. They have built brands just by being themselves and using the right equipment. So I'm a huge proponent of using the right equipment so that you can go creating and work on the stuff that really matters, which is your messaging. When I first started, I did not have my messaging down. Yes, I was talking about a lot of different things, but the idea was to work on who I am, work on how I show up on camera, work on what my messaging is. It's a work in progress. We keep building on top of the foundation that we build. We keep growing one step at a time. So again, get good lighting in your space. If that's the one thing that you want to invest in, get good lighting. And of course, making sure that people can hear you is also very important. So once you've purchased a good microphone for your setup, make sure that you have good lighting. So the first investment is microphone so people can hear you. So even if I were to turn off all the lights, I'm going to do this again. Even if I turn off all the lights, you're still here listening to me. You can still hear the message. You can still hear what I have to say. Adding the light just ups the level of the content, the video that you're creating, and the messaging that you're getting across. So please, please, please get good lighting, get good audio, and use your smartphone. Now, what's funny is that I said delete your ring lights. Basically what I'm saying, get rid of those ring lights, get a good light panel that's going to last you for the years to come. And here's the cool part. You can take this equipment with you wherever you go. So for example, if you were to move the next week or the next day or whatever, I can take all of this stuff that I've put in this studio and take it to the new place. Everything is transportable, just like the living room, the couch, the bedroom, like all these rooms that we set up. Everything is movable, right? So you want to make sure that you start it right, get it right the first time, or buy twice. Buy right once or buy wrong twice, because you're gonna return the stuff that you got thinking that it's gonna do good, and it's not the right thing for you. All right, hopefully that helped. And again, I'll post links to the light setups that I use and that they're gonna help you show up properly. All right, thanks so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.